started my business 7 years ago. My husband and I got transferred for his job a couple of times, and so I had to switch schools. And I had always loved photography, but because I had to take some electives, I decided to add that in and add some business classes in. And then I really started liking how I made clients feel and how showing them a different side of themselves. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Incredible. Now, we were just talking about ideal clients, right? How would you describe your ideal client?
My ideal client is typically families and brides. Those are actually my two favorites, would be families and weddings. Families probably are my main focus. Mm-hmm. I love working with the families who have young ones, the toddlers, and they call me and they say, "Oh, well, I cannot get a picture of my kids. They won't sit still." And I'm like, "Bring them to me." I have a 2 and a 5-year-old myself.
Oh, so you know.
I know. The trick is letting them think they're in control.
Heather, do you have a studio, or do you go to the client's office or home? How does that work?
So I am completely on location. However, because I am on the chamber for Morrisville, and I've got several businesses that I partner with, if I needed to do something indoor, I have lots of local businesses that I can work with.
Right.
So
I noticed you looked at my studio photo and you said, you look a little bit different than that studio photo. So I think I might need to get you to redo the new, thinner, more handsome-looking Joe for my studio photo, because I don't think Skippy's going to pay for a new photo. I think I'm going to have to do it.
I'll take a picture of you.
no
I want
selfies.
professional. And that's great that he said that, because that's the next question I want to get to.
Okay.
Explain the difference between a real professional photo, because there is one. I took the time to get some professional photos done for Facebook and LinkedIn and stuff like that. I can't describe why they look more professional, but they are. Can you help the business people out there listening so they know why there is still a difference? And even though Brian's iPhone does pretty good, it's not good enough.
Well, a professional photo, your photographer is obviously a professional, so they're going to be able to capture you at your best angle. The pictures are going to be crisp and clear, and you're going to look your absolute best, which is important for your clients to see, because if they see that you take value in yourself, then they're going to know that you take value in your work, and you're going to take value in them. So, when you hold a cell phone up to you, you've got your arms, and it's not usually the most flattering angle, and you usually make your cheeks look a little wider. And
so Skippy's been making me look chunky the whole time.
Possibly.
I do my best.
Well, I swear the last time somebody took my photo, they whitened my teeth up and
It took a lot of work.
Fixed some of the hair that was going on. So there's some other stuff that's going on there.
Oh, yes. The magic of Photoshop. You can do lots of things.
Let's talk about the business of photography, because I started a couple of magazines, and photos are a big piece of that.
Right.
And it seems like the expense for or what somebody's willing to pay for a good photo has changed because of the cell phones now that can really take a wonderful photo, maybe not professional looking, but still the clarity is remarkable, right?
Right.
Talk about that, sort of the finances of your business, because it's changed dramatically.
So part of that is the experience, which to answer your question you were talking about earlier, what makes me different than the other photographers that someone could hire is I don't just take their pictures. I create an entire experience, and I capture all of their moments during that experience. So when they leave the photo session, not only did they get their picture taken, but they had fun. And it's something, that they will be able to remember when they look back at those photos.
And I hate to interrupt you, but that makes a tremendous difference it shows through in the picture.
David, this is local biz now.
Oh,
We
I'm
interrupt
sorry.
all the
That's
time.
True. That's true.
You don't have to apologize, man. That's just what we do.
But those kind of things absolutely show through in the finished product.
Right.
Especially with the children, if it was a good experience or not.
Well, and part of it is getting the moms to relax. Because I mean, all the time when I work with families, they've got these little children, and the moms are uptight because they're worried their kid's not going to sit still. And I meet with them beforehand or talk with them beforehand and explain they most likely will not sit still, and that's okay. I know what I'm doing, so just trust in that. So I think as far as the expense part of it, if you build the value in what you're doing, and people will purchase what they want to purchase. They'll budget for what they want to budget for. And you know, photography is not always going to be a priority for everyone, but for families, it should be. Especially life's too short, and your kids grow too fast. So.
And you really said it, which is value. You know, every business has to create value, and you don't get a chance to define that value. Clearly, your clients are going to define whether they think they've received value or not. And so that's a really interesting point.
Right.
What advice would you give a business person right now listening if they're thinking about starting a business? What advice would that be?
I would probably say to know that they will probably spend the first few years living a way most people want to get to a point where they will live the way they want to. But it's going to take a lot of hard work. They're going to doubt themselves quite a bit. They probably will cry a little bit. But in the end, if you work really hard for what you want, good things will come. And you just have to be persistent and persevere.